Well, good morning or good afternoon, boys and girls. How are you today? I hope that you are having a great day. I am. I think very seldom do I have bad days. But if I was having a bad day, when I start doing science, I forget about it and it becomes a great day. So if you're having a bad day, now that you're doing science, you're having a great day, okay? So welcome to our science time. And we are going to now, today, you think we're going to talk about waves again? Do you think that it's going to be waves? Well, yeah, but you thought that you knew everything about waves, right? Well, guess what? Even experts that study waves don't know everything about waves. Okay, so there is always something new to learn about waves. But today, like last lesson, is not directly about waves, but about some instruments. Well, let's just go ahead and look at the learning target and see what we are going to be exploring today. So our learning target is, I can identify, so I can tell, okay? I can identify, I can see it and I know what it is. I can identify different instruments that use lenses, and I can also explain how they enhance our sense of sight, how they enhance it. Let's look at the definition for enhance, okay? So what enhance means is to improve or to enrich, okay? So let's look one more time at the learning target. I can identify different instruments that use lenses and explain how they enrich, how they improve, how they enhance our sense of sight, okay? And I don't know if you know sight, I'm sure you do, but just in case, sight meaning our eyes, okay, the way that we see things. So we have different senses, which are... What are the senses? By the way, what are the senses? Let's see if you remember. All right, okay. Okay, so here they are, the sense of sight, seeing, the sense of hearing, the sense of smell, the sense of taste, and the sense of touch. And today we're going to concentrate specifically on the sense of sight, the sense of seeing, how we see things, okay? So to get started, okay, your teacher is going to share a document with you, and if the teacher does not share with you, you can always create it yourself, either in your notebooks or in your Google Docs, okay? So you're going to have 3 columns, okay? And 4 rows. 3 columns and 4 rows, all right? The heading for the first row is instrument. The heading for the second one is how they work, and then in parentheses before. And the third one is how they work, in parentheses after, okay? And the 3 instruments are eyeglasses. The second one is microscope. And the third one is, let's put it right here, telescope, okay? So what I want you to do is, I want you to write right here in the first column, how do eyeglasses work? How do microscopes work? And how do telescopes work? Now, that is just what you know, okay? So you might know a little, you might know a lot. But write whatever you know about eyeglasses, whatever you know about microscopes, and whatever you know about telescopes, write it down on the one that says before, okay? Because at the end of the lesson, we're going to go to the column that says after, and then you will know a lot more by then, okay? So right now, pause this lesson and fill in those boxes, all right? All right, so now it's the time to share. So share what you wrote. Might be something little, or it might be a lot. Let's just share. Maybe 2 or 3 of you can share with the rest of the class, okay? And now it is time to explore. And you see now why it is that I wanted you to have some background information about how the human eye works, because all of those lenses have to do with the sense of sight, how we see things. So we needed to know how the human eye works. Let's explore, okay? Let's explore now how light goes into the eye, okay? And what those waves do inside the eye. So you remember that light travels in waves, right? Of course, that's a given. We've been talking about that now in many lessons. And you also remember that we found out that it travels in a straight line. But what happens? You remember those? Do you remember those experiments that we did last, like a lesson before last, of how we put a chopstick inside the glass? What happened? Remember, it looked like it was bent. And it looked like that because actually when the light wave went from the air to the water, it actually bent the wave. The light wave became bent, so we saw the chopstick or whatever object you put there, maybe it was a pencil, it appeared to be bent as well. Okay, so we know that when light goes from one medium to another, the waves bent. Okay, they bend. So that said, that was something that we already explored in the past. What do you think happens when light goes from the air that is traveling to the eye? It goes through another medium. So what happens to the light? That's right. It bends. Okay? It bends. And the way that it works, let me show you a diagram so that you see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? So that's a diagram of the eye. And the blue is the light wave coming into, right there, into the eye. And then it bends. And right over here, okay, right there is the nerve that takes the message to the brain. Okay, so you see this right here and that right there, and that is the image. Okay, however, some people are nearsighted, and you see now when the light wave went through inside the eye, see right here, the image is supposed to be back here to send the message to the brain, but somehow there is a condition in the eye that the waves come together right here, and the nerve back here receives a blurry image because this point is supposed to be right over here. Now for a far-sighted person, look what happens. The light goes into here. The image is supposed to be right here where those two waves form an angle, but look where it went. Went way, 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 way over here past the nerve. You see? And it was supposed to happen right here. So that's a far-sighted person. So in either one, okay, when the waves went into the eye, when they encounter a different medium, right? The eye was not shaped the way that it's supposed to be normally shaped. And the image that we received in our brain, or the image that that person received in their brain, was not the clear image that they should, okay? And it's because the eye is shaped in a way that is not the regular shape that the eye is supposed to have. So the light waves did not bend the way that they're supposed to normally bend so that a person can see a clear image, whether it is near or far. So, what do we do to fix that problem? Oh my goodness, what do we do now? Don't worry, help is coming. So, if we go back to our learning target, I think you can figure out what exactly it is that humans do when they have these issues with their eyes. What do we do? It's your turn to tell us now. I think you can all say it together. What do we do? That's right. Eyeglasses. Yup, eyeglasses. For girls, for boys, frames in whatever color, but what's important is the lens. Eyeglasses. That's right. That is the solution to the problem. Lenses. And we say eyeglasses. And remember, what's important is not the frame. Of course, it is important for fashion, to look good, but what's really important is the lens. So, what's really happening there? Why is it that that lens can fix the problem? Well, I want to show you a video that's going to explain it extremely well. Let me show you what the title is. So it is a video called How Eyeglasses Work, okay? So you can click on that, or maybe your teacher will do it and you'll watch it together, okay? And I always tell my student, take notes, okay? Because it's gonna be very helpful. So everything that you hear there that calls your attention, that you think is important, take notes. You're gonna need it for high school, for college, and you're most definitely gonna need it now. So let's watch that video. Pretty amazing, huh? Humans are pretty witty. We've come up with many ways to fix our problems, and we've been able to understand and see how important it is to understand how things work, and that's what science does. So now we knew that light travels in waves, and we know how the eye works. So if we know all of that, and there is a problem, we know how to fix it. And so we have learned to create lenses that bend the light exactly in the angle that we want it bent. So those lenses are a replacement for the human eye that was supposed to have the right curvature right there in front. But since there was a disorder, then we're able to create a lens that can bend the light exactly the way that we want it bent. Let's look at the learning target to make sure that we are on track. Let's look at the learning target right now. Let's see. I can identify different instruments that use lenses and explain how they enhance our sense of sight. All right. Well, it is time to finish the lesson, and we've only looked at one, which is what instrument? What is it? That's right. Eyeglasses, okay? So now that you know how eyeglasses work, I want you to go back to that document that you did at the beginning, remember? You had eyeglasses, microscopes, and telescopes, but we haven't looked at the other ones. We're going to have to do that next lesson. So for this lesson, what I want you to do is go now to the, well, let me show you the document one more time so that you know exactly what I'm talking about. Remember this? All right, so now I want you to fill this box, okay? Fill it up. How do eyeglasses work? And notice that it says after, because now you have a lot of information in your brain about this, okay? Over here, it was before, so it should be just a little over here. But in this box, you should have a lot of information. So now, go ahead and stop the lesson and explain how eyeglasses work now that we have gone through the lesson. Well, and now that you have written all of that information, if there is time left for science, your teacher will let you know. You can share with the rest of the class. Maybe 2 or 3 of you can share, okay? If there is no time left, you can always share later on with your family members or your friends and impress them with all your knowledge about eyeglasses. I bet there are many, 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 many people wearing eyeglasses and they have no idea how it works. Maybe you are wearing eyeglasses and you didn't know how they worked. So impress your family members with all your science knowledge about lenses. All right? Well, thank you so much. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you next time. Remember that science is everywhere. Bye-bye.